Okay, so today is 18th December 2020. So last time we started, putting all the parse code in this our complete React app, and we are running the parse server, that is the server, and the client together from the one command, that is npm run dev. When I go to prod, it is not necessary to use the nodemon. I can use node on also, because nodemon is for development purpose. So we don't need nodemon on the client, on the production. So node is fine. Let me run that again. Okay, so it's running production and node index.js. So nodemon is only for the development purpose, because you want to see the changes which you do immediately on the on the code. If you do any change, you want to see immediately, so nodemon is needed. But on prod, you don't need to see that, so node is fine. Okay, let's see, it will run in a few seconds. Okay, let's try to okay, till it starts, let's try to see what we did on that day. So if you want to run the client side, that is the React code, so if you want to run the client side of the React code, you can do that by you go into the client folder and run npm start. So client folder is this. This is the client folder, and this is the root folder. So if I'm on the higher level, it is called the root folder. When I go into the client side, it is the client folder. You can also run the client code by calling this npm run client on the root level. You can call npm run client. So it will go inside the client folder and it will run the npm start. If you do this npm run client, because we written the code npm run start prefix client, that means go inside the client and run the npm start. You can, okay, this is for the development purpose. We're doing for the development purpose. If you want to run the server, that is the client, that is the parseserver code, then on the root level you have to run node index.js, or you can also run nodemon index.js. Since we have created the start script, you can run npm start, or you can also run this server. It will run with the nodemon. So I can say npm run server. So either of these four is fine. Whatever you want, you can run. So you have to run the client side separately, and you have to run the server side separately. There's a package called as concurrently, where you can run the server and the client side together. So I created the new script that is called npm run dev. It will run concurrently the server plus dev together. So that is using the concurrently. This is also for the development purpose. When you go to the prod, that is when you deploy it on somewhere, then you don't need the React code, client code. Client code is not needed. Though we need the React code, but running the client code is not needed. Running the client is not needed. So to run the client, that is the React code on production, we first run following command inside the client folder. So we'll go inside the client folder and we'll run npm run build. As soon as we run this command, a build folder will be created. A build folder will be created, which you will see in the client. There is a build folder, and this build folder will be okay. So this build folder will be utilized by the index.js on the root folder. So in the build folder, which is created inside the client folder, is utilized by the index.js on the root folder, that is index.js. We say if the production, then we use the build folder, and then any path, any URL which is not defined here. Since dashboard is defined here, it will be taken. Since text is defined here, it will be taken here. Any path which is not defined will go to the client side, and inside the client side, it will go inside the build one, and inside the build one, it will go to index.txt. So this is how it will work. So I will show you now how to deploy this on the production one. Okay, first let's see how it is looking here. If I go to localhost 3000, since I'm running the production version, 3000 will not be available here, and we are not getting anything. Let's go to localhost 1337. So if I run localhost 1337, I'm able to see the site from this 1337. I can post also. So though it is in the React one, but we are calling through the parseserver. So instead of 1337, let's try to use 1339 or 1338, for example. Let's use 1338. And in the client side also, I will use 1338. So here I'm calling 1338. So if we want to go to production one, we should have some production URL. Okay, so if we have some production URL, we need some hosting provider, we need some hosting server where we have to deploy. So let's say if we have something hosting one, then we need to change this one also, because localhost will only work in my local environment. On the production, localhost is not there. So here I will say process dot environment dot node environment is equal to production. If it is production, then I will call another URL here, because localhost will only work on my local environment, not on the server. And when you run the command npm run build, the code, React code, is always using this environment, production one. But when you run the npm start, it will use the development version. I can also check what kind of environment is here by doing the console.log. And I can check with it. So let's say if I have some server, I will write the IP address of the server 108. I am writing the IP of the server which I have. So you have to buy the VPS server or something. So it is 180.60.219.139. Don't use this one, my one. You have to buy your own server and use that one. So this is, I'm just showing the demo. So I put this one. So when we go to the production, it will take this path. And when we go to the local, it will take this path. Okay, so this is the difference which we did here. And I'll also use this inside my node application. So inside also node, we have this server URL. This database URL to localhost is fine. We don't need to change this one. But server URL, we have to change it, because email will be sent from the server URL and it should not go through localhost. So here also I'll give, if process is production, use this as the server URL, and in the local host I'm changing to 1338. Okay, so for the local host I will use 1338. Okay, so now here also I'll change to 1338. Let's see. Yeah, 1338. So now the port will be 1338. Now what I'll do, I did all the changes. I'll go to cd client and npm run build. This we have to do on the server also. I'm just showing it here. We have to do on the server also, on the where I deploy it. Because build folder is not committed, so we have to create the build folder again on the server. So as soon as this will be done, so by the time this is going on, okay, by the time this is going on, we will deploy the things on the server. So if you buy the Windows server, you will get this remote desktop connection. In the Windows, you can open this remote desktop connection and put the IP address in there, and then you can connect to the server. Okay, so as soon as can you see this one, the server? Can you see the remote desktop? Okay, so this is not my desktop. This is something desktop, server desktop. So this is remote. It is Windows Server. So it is, kind of same thing as you're working locally. Something when you do remote desktop. So what I'll do, I will, I will do my, I will import the my Git project. Okay, let's see. So this is something I will create here the Git repository. I'll do git clone. Okay, so here, let me see my complete React. Okay, so I will take the repo URL and put it. This is my different URL, which is not the right one. I'm just copying my real one. Okay, so just I copied the one which we have here. This one, complete React. So I'll say okay. So now whole project will be copied here inside the complete React. So this is my real server, public server, and I will show you how to deploy it on the server. So there is one more way to deploy that I will teach you next week, but the one simple one is here, which I will do it here. So I'll go to the command line here, complete React. If we do ls, I see the client folder and I see this folder. I think I need to commit all the folders again. Let me do here. So I'm just committing all the files. Sorry. Okay, I committed all the files. And this is also deployed, which I have to deploy again on the server actually. Okay, so this is my server. Let me do the git pull again. Okay, after git pull, I do ls. I see all the folders. So I have to run npm install again here. This will install my parse server at the root level. And then I'll go inside the client level also. Then I'll run the npm install again to install all thing on the client, and then I'll run the npm build inside the client. So here will be the things. I will write down the steps. So this is one of the way of deployment. There are many ways you can deploy. So what I did the git commit of all in my local. And then I did git push. Now, if I go on my server, I'll do the git clone and whatever URL is this, then I'll go do the git clone, and then I can say git pull if I have not taken all the files. Then I run the npm install at root level and also on client folder. Then I'll go to the client folder again and run npm run build. After I'm done with the npm run build, I'll go at root level again and I'll run npm run prod, the prod one which I showed you here. This one, prod one. Once I run this prod, then it will be fine. Then I can use it from anywhere. Okay, let's see. So this is my remote desktop. It's still going on. It takes time because it's not very fast. Okay, let it run for some time. Okay, let's talk a little bit. So this is all the process of deploying on the server if you want to use it on your server. So just show the steps. I'm putting all the steps here. So another thing which I want to say is that till it deploy, once it runs completed, I will come back again here and I'll show you the whole process again because it's still going on. Let's wait for it to complete. So let's talk more about this one. So we have our complete React app, my complete React app. So inside that, I have the parseserver code, which is in node.js. Okay, and we also have client folder, which has React code. So anything if you write in the React code, anything you write in React code will be visible to the user. Means anyone can go to the source code and can find out all the variables, all the values of the variable in your React code. You cannot hide. You cannot hide anything. So for example, if I'm using something, let me open some. So for example, if I'm using this Google key, anyone can go into the source code and find it what is my Google key is there. And if I feel that someone has taken my Google key, I will go to the Google and I will regenerate my key so that he cannot use it again. Then he can come back again and he can take my key again. So something you cannot really hide. Okay, so you can give the permission in the Google that only allow from particular IP. So I have given the permission that only allow from the IP. So even though you will steal it, you cannot use it because Google key can be used from particular domain only. So, but at least you can take any variable. I cannot hide anything in my React code. But anything which I write in Node.js, so if I open the Node.js file, so this is my client side and this is index.js on the node side. Anything which I write in the Node.js, for example, I created this master key. So this master key is written in the Node.js. This is in Node.js and nobody can steal my variables. So whatever I write in Node.js is not exposed to the user. It is hidden from the user. So just I mentioned this master key you cannot share with anyone. Right now, since I'm teaching, I'm putting master key like simple master key and simple this one, but afterwards I will change this master key to some complicated number, complex number, and nobody can take that because with the master key you can do anything on my database and I won't be able to stop it. So this master key is present in the Node.js part, and in Node.js you can put any code. It will be hidden from the user and nobody can go into your Node.js server and find the key because you have deployed it on your server. You can only do it. Otherwise, nobody can do it. And my Git code is private, so nobody can take my master key information also or any other information. Also, tomorrow I will create some payment gateway or any other thing which will be hidden from the user. So right now we are building the React code, this parseserver code in the React one. So if you want something, kind of admin facility, which you can do in the React code also, but some things which you have to do, where you need to use the master key, and that code you have to put inside the Node.js, and you have to, with some kind of authentication, you can use it in the client side also. I don't want to talk that more today kind of thing, but we can build complete operation in Node.js also. And expose it to the client side. Okay, so we can build complete application in Node.js and expose something to the client side. So because many of the things you cannot do without master key. So if you want to do all the things like there are a lot of things which we will do also. I don't want to, since I'm not done, I won't be able to tell you now. But a lot of things which you can do using the master key, and that is only can be done in the Node.js server and not on the client side. So if you are writing the basic website, you have to do only in the client side. But if you have lot of permissions and lot of things are going on, then you have to write some code in the Node.js. The Node.js part, which we will not do now, it will take time because first we have to complete the client side, everything on the client side. Then after some time, we'll do some application on the Node.js, where I will show you how to do on the Node.js side. Okay, so that's the generic thing. Let's see now what happened to this my server. Try again. Now, how to open this remote desktop? So just I'll show you that also after some time. This is default in Windows. You can get it on Mac. You have to install some. I think something happened on the server. It got stopped. Okay. Okay, so I'm done with the npm install on the root level. Let's go to the client side. Okay, let's go to the client side and do the same thing. Because we have to run the npm run build, and for that we need to install it there also. Okay, let it complete this one, then I'll show you. So if you have any question, you can ask till it gets installed. So if you are building your own project, so like for example, one person has commented like this. How can I make something like this? When user is registered, the user can use the free plan for 1 month, and after 1 month, user will be logged out until the user subscribe and confirm from the admin before the user can log in again. So this is something you have to. This is your custom application. So you have to think yourself. I have taught you complete React one, how to do everything in the React thing. So if you want to build something, anything, you know, there are a lot of application which you will build in future also. Will do feature application also. Then you have to think yourself. Okay, so to do any project, you have to first create the screens. So take a Word document and just create the screen. What will be the first screen? User registration, and try to create a form in your, some rough way. User will register. User will log in. You create that also, and then you have to think. After 1 month, that means you have some kind of free stuff, and you have some kind of paid stuff. If you log the user out of the site, then how he will come and subscribe? Because user is logged out and you're not allowing him to log in. So this script has some kind of problem, because if you are logging the user out, how will he subscribe? How he will click the subscription button? So something you need to change your requirement, because this doesn't seem to be feasible. Then you create one layout which has the free stuff and another layout which has the paid stuff, and then in the user table you can save the variable that plan, which plan it is, if he's in free plan or paid plan. So if he is a free plan, what is the expiry date? So you can save expiry date, for example 30th December, 20th December. So after 20th December you think that this is expiry, then you have to write the code. Then paid stuff cannot access if expiry date is over. Only the free stuff can be accessed. So this is the one layout you can build where you allow him, and in the paid layout, if he has passed the expiry date, then you don't allow it. You send him to the free layout where he can subscribe, and pay or do whatever he wants. So you have to think a lot on this, because once you log him out, there's no way to you know that he wants to subscribe. Okay, so another problem in this is, admin. Let's say if you're building some admin also, then that part, if it is very sensitive part, if you want to use the master key, then you have to do that in the Node.js. Otherwise, you can do in React only. So a lot of things you have to plan out first in the Word document and do one by one step. Slowly you will do, and you can, be able to complete the project. So don't think the whole project at one time. Try to do one by one step. Let's say once make user registration. Then free plan. So create a page where he can select the plan, free or paid. Then after 1 month, then based on the layout, if he goes to the paid layout, you check on the paid layout if user has expiry date or not. If he has the expiry date, then you have to ask him, go to subscribe one page where he can subscribe and pay it. So like that, you have to make it slowly. You have to plan it, and you have to make one by one step, and see, you will be able to do, because you know the React kind of thing. You will be able to do it. So just you have to become mentally strong and try to complete this one. So how to hit the API? Another question is how to hit the API. So generally, we are doing the parse server right now here. But I explained you in the React code also some time back, if you remember, how to call the HTTP API calls. That you have to use that one, to call the API. We use a fetch command to call the API. API is something is built by the backend in Node.js or Java or any application, and you have to call using the AJAX call. So either you can use AJAX or you can use the fetch one. So I explained the fetch one already, but if you want to use AJAX, I will show AJAX also. Maybe next week I'll create one small project to call the AJAX. Let me see where we did the okay. At one point I explained you the fetch one. I don't remember which example we did. Yeah, so this is Yeah, this is the one. In example 4, we have the endpoint and we use the fetch. We use the fetch command and then we got the data and we save the data. So this is the one which we use the fetch command. This fetch command can be replaced by actions also. Right. So this either you use this one fetch or use actions. Both are same. Actions is kind of wrapper around this fetch one. So I will show you some example next week on the actions also. Response should always be in the JSON. If you're not giving the JSON response, then it is not the good REST design. So it should always return the JSON response. Previously, in 2006, 2007, people used to give HTML, they used to give XML response, but now everything is replaced by the JSON. So always the endpoint should return the JSON.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, Manish.
Yeah.
So Anupam this side.
Yeah.
I was asking, can we do the print in the React?
Print means what?
Let's say I have one page and I want to send the request to the printer directly from the React. So is it possible?
So generally, let's talk that one. Give me 1 second. Let me complete this.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's run this npm run build on the client side. So it's building it. Let's wait for time till it builds. Okay, so let's talk about a print kind of thing. So printing, print using JavaScript. So generally from JavaScript you can call the print one, and that you can use in the React also. So it will not directly print. It will okay. Let's see what is this.
This print, I think.
Print print the contents. Open the printer. Okay, let's try one thing. So you have to use the vanilla JavaScript, but you can use that in React also, because since this is a vanilla JavaScript. So in JavaScript there are many ways to call the print dialog. So something kind of this. If you run this window.print, it will open this one, and then you can print whatever you want to print your page. Okay, so this page is coming.
What I want to skip this step.
No, you cannot skip this step. Whatever you can do with JavaScript, if you can find something to skip even this step, if you have to find in JavaScript is possible. I don't think it is possible. You can only call this dialog.
This dialog, when we can do the print command here, so that will be okay. Yeah. That's okay.
Okay, so whatever you can do in vanilla JavaScript, React is what? React is built on vanilla JavaScript only. So anything which you can do in vanilla JavaScript, you can do here.
Okay.
And if you cannot do in vanilla JavaScript, then you cannot do in that in React.
Okay.
So after I complete this npm run build, the build folder will be created, and that build folder, let me go here. So inside the client side, build folder is created, and this build folder will have all my React code and it will run on the environment of production. Okay, so I put the check also. If you see that one will be using the IP and one will be using the local host. So let this be complete and then we'll run. Okay, so this one is done. Then I'll go to the root level again now. Now I'll run the command npm run prod. So it's saying the node environment is a production and there is a node index.js. Okay, so let's see once it runs, then we can experiment it. So if you are using the API and using the fetch or actions, you always have to get the JSON response. If your backend developer is not giving the JSON, you have to ask him to give the JSON response. So everything should be in the JSON. Okay, it's taking some time. HTTP requests like get, post, show, and okay, so we'll do that one next week. We'll do the HTTP request. Though we did this get one, I showed you just now example 4, but we'll do more stuff on that. Little bit more practice on the HTTP stuff. We'll use access also, and we'll use the fetch also, both. So generally, what we did is we can write some application to do the CRUD operation in using the API. So what we have to do, we have to create a record using access or fetch. So we have to create a record, we have to update the record, we have to delete the record, and we have to view the record. So this is a CRUD operation, and once you know all these 4 steps, you can do anything. You can create any application using these operations. So we will be doing all this one. Next week I'll plan it out something. So this will use the post request, and for this you will be using put request, and this will be the delete, and this one will take the get one. So these 4 steps will be done. We have to create a record using the post. We have to update the record using the put. We have to delete the record using the delete, and we have to view the record using the get. So we will do next week this CRUD operation using the API next week. So we have to build something also, this one on the Node.js side, because either we build it on Node.js side, or we will find some ready backend API. I will see if I get some ready backend, because once we are learning this, it is not good to run the backend also at the same time. We should have some backend already there. Yeah, weather API. We can use weather API to only get the record. Okay, so for this get, we can use weather API. But for all this, we need something on the backend. So generally in company, there are 2 developers. One developer who does the backend work, who creates the API, and another is front end, who calls the API from the React code. And if you are the full stack developer, you have to do backend work also, front end work also, both the work. Okay, still starting. It takes time. My server is slow. Okay, let's try again. Something is not right. Okay, now it starts. So I see the parse server is running on this port, and I see the live queries also started. And then I can go to my IP 108, and the port is 1338. And if I go here, you will see it's going to the auth one, and I can also go to the test one to test it. Okay, so this cloud part is not very important now. Okay, let's go this from my computer here. Okay, let me check. So something got stuck. Let me restart the server. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, now it's starting. Okay, now let's go here. Okay, so this is asking me to sign in. I will sign up with my So right now I'm using this. You can see this is the public URL. So I'm using this one, and the whole application is running on this one, 1338. And the React part is not calling. We are not calling React part using npm start, but we are calling the React part using so this server URL is something like this one, and we are calling the React part using this part. This, when it is production, we directly call this part. That is from the build folder. So everything is going from the build folder. So I'll get the email in some time, and then I can fill this box, confirm it. Let me see if I got the email. Okay, so for learning, you send the URL. Let me see what that does. Okay, let me check that website. Okay. Okay, so I got the URL. So if you see the URL to, if you see the URL to, okay, this is the email I got. So if you see now, I'm getting the server URL also here and with the token and username, and I verified my email successfully. So I can log in now successfully. I'll sign in. So I can see the page. This is a post one. And this all is coming from the server. You can also go to this URL, though it will be, I will stop it in few minutes, but at least you can see it is working from anywhere in the world. So if you go to this URL, so you will be able to see the website. Though I will stop the server in few minutes. Database is also on the server because the server cannot access my local database. So this is the database. So if I go here, dashboard. So this is the server URL, server database, because my server cannot access my local database. So everything is on the server. I already installed MongoDB and everything on my server. So you'll see just now I went here with this email, and so this is created here. Okay, what is the question? How many months it will take to learn front and back end if someone learn every 2 years a day? Okay. So you use this is the server on the server, and since this is only IP, we can use domain also. Right now I not use the domain here. I have used just IP. And if we have domain, I can use that and I can install with the domain also. So that's about all about the installation of my React code on the server. So here it is coming from the backend. Okay. Let me check what it is. Okay, I'll check this website. This looks, let me put it in the chat so that I can remember it later. Okay, next thing which I want to say is, okay, let's talk about that backend and front end. Okay, let me put this in the document. Okay, let's talk about this front end and back end. You have to, it should not be, you should not do some hurry to complete the stuff. So do not hurry. As we learn every day, it should go gradually inside your mind. So everything should be with understanding, and it should go slowly in your mind, so that when you learn car driving, initially you feel that I have to change the gear, I have to do on the clutch, brake and everything. But gradually you become so used to it that you can drive the car without even thinking it. The same thing should happen. So every day if you study 2 hours or 3 hours, after 6 months, 1 year, you will be able to, absorb everything, and you don't have to be, you should not have the stress on the brain, how to do this, how to do that. You have to gradually grasp every concept so that after 6 months to 1 year, it may take 6 months to 1 year to master all the concepts, so that if any new website come to you, you should not be worrying how will I do that. It should be there in your mind. You might have done 100 examples in the past to do same thing. So that should happen. You should be very comfortable in doing everything. So take 6 months to 1 year for learning everything. Okay, so this database is also on the server. The question is, database is also server, and since if I go here, you will see I'm using the local host here, even on the server, because when we are on the Node.js and if we want to do anything locally, we can call the localhost also. From the React, I cannot call localhost. I have to call the server URL like 108. But since this is the Node.js, if I call the localhost, this localhost will take wherever this code is residing. So this localhost is fine. But here I changed it to 108 because we have to send the email, and in the email it should go to the public server URL. And if I put here also localhost, then user will get email with the localhost, and when he will click the localhost is not installed on his server, so he will not be able to confirm his email. Since we have to pass this server URL to the user in email, that's the reason I changed here to take this one as server URL. Otherwise, everything which we do on the Node.js, localhost will work fine. Okay, so with the localhost we can do everything. Because this Node.js is residing in the server, localhost in Node.js is on the server only. Here I have to change forcefully because I have to call the email part, and user has to click using the public IP, not the localhost. So that's the reason I changed this to 108. Otherwise, in Node.js, if I call anything, I can call with the localhost. But with the React code, I cannot call with the localhost. I have to call the server URL because React code resides on the client side, and localhost will not work when we are deploying in production. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any more questions, you can ask.